My buddy Sam and I used to have a YouTube channel where we played pranks on fast food workers. I know what you're thinking, we sound awesome. But it wasn't always glamorous. Once or twice, Sam and I had folks run out of the store after us. All we did was toss a milkshake or some water balloons at them. Nobody can take a joke. Sam and I had a good time though, until the night we crossed paths with a worker named Wendy. The girl really fit the part for working at a Wendy's restaurant. She had freckles with red hair, big eyes, and a slightly crazy smile.
Welcome to Wendy's. My name is Wendy, no relation. Can I take your order?
Her chipper voice squeaked out of the drive-through speakers. Sam rolled his eyes.
Are we rolling?
Yeah, buddy, we are recording. So what is the joke this time?
A new one, something special.
Sam patted the canister on the dashboard.
It cost me a ton to buy off eBay, but the views will be worth it.
We pulled up to the window to pay and got our first look at Wendy. She really did resemble Wendy's mascot. The girl opened the window and before she could so much as say hell, Sam pressed a button and tossed the canister through the opening. There was a bang and then a cloud of fog drifted out. I caught a whiff of the odor as Sam drove away. It was vile, a stench like milk left out for a week in the hot Sunday. We heard Wendy scream as we sped off. I think I even saw her lean out of the window to throw something, but I couldn't see what. Sam was cackling.
Did you get all of that? Did you see her almost crawl out of the window after us?
Yeah, I caught all of it. The viewers are going to love it. Maybe we even put this one on Patreon first. Was that a stink bomb?
A stink bomb, Tommy? That was a tactical stench warhead. They are so powerful you can't even buy them legally in the US, but I got a guy.
I let out a low whistle. We stopped at another Wendy's on the way home to actually pick up some food. Sam and I roomed together in addition to being business partners. He was the face of the YouTube channel, I was the producer and editor. As soon as we got to our house, I took my Baconator and headed right to my workshop in the garage to start editing. The next hour passed by in a blur. I only snapped out of my editing when I heard glass shatter from inside the house. I opened the door leading from the garage. Hey Sam, did you hear that? No answer. I walked through the door into the house. It was dark even after I tried flipping the switch a few times. I brought out my phone's flashlight. Sam, are you all right? I called out.
Just fine, Tommy. I dropped a glass. Everything's fine.
It was my friend's voice, but strained, a little off. Where are you, buddy? I asked.
In the living room.
Okay, I will be right there.
No.
Sam shouted. Well, it sounded like Sam but high-pitched. Then his voice returned to normal after a long pause.
No, don't come in here. I'm working on something secret. In fact, could you go outside for a bit? I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Ah, sure. I'll take the trash out or something.
Perfect.
As I walked the trash to the curb, I kept thinking about how strange Sam sounded. At one point during the conversation, when he told me not to come into the room, it didn't even sound like my friend at all. I deposited the trash into the curbside cans and headed back towards the house. It was chilly out and the sky was clear above our neighborhood. I zipped my hoodie up tight, then stopped when I reached Sam's car. There was something stuck to the back of it, a circle about the size of a coin. I pulled my phone out again and shined the light on the object. It wasn't a coin, it was a black and white Apple Air tag. Someone had stuck it onto Sam's car. They were tracking him. Tracking us. I rushed back into the house and headed for the living room. A shadow darted out of the greater darkness and slammed into me, knocking me to the kitchen floor.
Sorry, Tommy, is that you? I didn't mean to bump into you. We're still working on the lights and on the surprise. Why don't you sit down and wait?
The not Sam voice said. I slowly sat up, groaning. I'd knocked my head pretty good when I fell. Sam, what's going on? Are you okay? A long pause and then Sam's voice, the real Sam, but rough.
Yeah, we're fine. Everything's fine. But maybe you should leave.
Sam began choking. I ran for the living room. 3 steps in, my ankle hit something and I tripped headfirst into the floor. This time I blacked out. I woke up tied to a chair in my own living room. The lights were back on. I tried turning my neck to look around but stopped when there was a sudden stab of pain.
Are you awake?
A chipper voice asked me. It sounded familiar. I shook my head gently, trying to clear the fog a little. What's going on? I whispered. My mouth was dry and my vision kept swimming. There was a smell nearby that was making me nauseous. Or maybe that was the head injury.
Oh, poor baby. I think you might have a slight concussion. Sorry about the tripwire, but I couldn't have you rushing in while I was still working.
Who are you? I groaned. There was definitely an odor in the room, awful and growing worse by the minute.
Don't you recognize me?
A face leaned into my vision. Red hair. Freckles. A crazy smile that wiggled from ear to ear. Wendy. From Wendy's? I asked, gagging on the smell coming off of her uniform. She slapped me.
Yep. That was a pretty mean trick that you and your friend pulled, throwing a stink bomb at me. I was just trying to take your order.
It wasn't a stink, wait. You followed us. Wendy grinned wider, her teeth stained red. The AirTag on Sam's car. That's what she must have thrown out of the window while we were driving away after the prank. Where's Sam? I asked. Wendy walked behind my chair. I felt her strong grip spin me until I was facing the opposite reaction. I began to scream and scream and scream. Sam's body sat on our couch in a puddle of blood. His throat was ripped out, it was a rough cut like someone had used a dull knife or teeth. I jammed my eyes shut. It was just a joke, just a joke, just a joke.
A joke? You think it was funny to come in while I'm working a double shift to throw garbage on me so that I'm left smelling like an open sewer line? That's your idea of comedy? Do you know how many other jerks like you I have to wait on every single day? My entire life is taking crap from pricks like you and your friend, and I am tired of it.
I'm sorry, I whispered. Please don't kill me.
I'm not going to kill you.
Wendy said, walking behind my chair, leaving me to look at my dead friend.
I just wanted you to get a small taste of the pain. Plus, I'm starting a YouTube channel. I'll be pranking the pranksters, I think. I've got a camera running in the corner. So, how about it? Did you like your surprise? Is this funny enough to launch my channel?
I stared at Sam. His head was back, dead eyes pointed at the ceiling. The wound in his neck was so deep I thought I could see a pale sliver of bone in the back. You're insane, I sobbed. You're a monster.
It's just a joke.
She growled in my ear. Then she hit me across the back of my head, and I was out again. By the time I came to, Wendy was gone, and the police were cutting me free from the chair. Paramedics had already removed Sam's body while I was unconscious, so that was a small blessing. They never found Wendy, and the whole thing got chalked up to a break-in gone wrong. Everybody but me just swept it under the rug. I quit the YouTube game after Sam's death. I could never stop looking over my shoulder, wondering, where's Wendy? I live in terror every single day. I found a new job, at least. The pay's not great and I have to deal with the occasional idiot in the drive-thru, but at least I get a free Baconator meal with every shift.